Hello all, welcome to the next session of SQL commands. In this video, we will be discussing aggregate functions and group by clause. Aggregate functions perform a calculation on set of values and return a single value. That is, it accepts a column as argument and returns a single value. There are other functions which work on single rows, but this function works on group of rows and returns a single value. So they are also called group functions, aggregate functions or multiple row functions. Examples of aggregate functions are sum, avg, min, max, count and count star. Let us discuss each of these functions in detail. All these functions except the count star function accepts a column name as argument. Out of this, sum and avg function accepts an integer column as argument and returns the sum of values or average of values in that column. Example, select sum of salary from employee returns the sum of salaries in that employee table, and avg of salary returns the average of salary. Next two functions, min and max, accepts any data type as argument. That is, the column can be of string, date or numeric type and returns the minimum or maximum of the values in that column. Example, select min salary from employee and max salary from employee. Next function is count column name. It returns the count of non-null values of the specified column. That is, it returns the number of values present in that specific column. Example, select count grade from employee. This command returns the count of grade present in employee. This count column name function eliminates null values. All these aggregate functions omit null values. Last function is count star. It returns number of records or the cardinality of the table. Example, select count star from employee. This command returns the number of rows in the employee table. Let us discuss some examples using aggregate function. We are using the student table with columns, admission number, name, class, DOB and mark. To display the highest and lowest mark from the table, we have to use max function to display highest and min function to display the lowest mark. The query is select max mark, min mark from student. I will show the output. We are using the student table. Select star from student will display all the rows from the table. Select max mark, comma min mark from student. The maximum mark is 500 and the minimum mark is 420. So the output will be max mark 500 and min mark 420. The next question is to display the average mark of students in 12B. We have to display the average mark and the condition is class equal 12B. Select AVG mark from student where class equal 12B. In the table we can see that there are two students in 12B. KP Gupta mark is 455 and Nandini is having null value. So while finding the average mark, we should consider only this 455. The output of this command will be select AVG mark from student where class equal 12B. The output will be 455. Next question is to display the number of students who scored more than 450 mark. To display the number of students, we have to use the count function. When looking in the table, we can see there are 1, 2, 3 and 4 students who scored greater than 450. The query will be select count star from student where mark greater than 450. I will show the output. Select count star from student where mark greater than 450. The output will be 4. Next question is to display the number of students who scored some mark. So we have to display the number of rows which is having some mark. So we have to use the count column name function. Select count mark from student. We can see from the table there are total 6 rows in the table and there is a null value here. The output will be count mark 5. Since there is a null value in that field, the output will be 5. Next we are using this EMB table. Select sum wage from employee. We can see the wages are 5,000, 3,500 and 4,100. By adding all these wages, we get the output 12,600. The next question is select min wage from employee. The minimum wage is 3,500. The output will be 3,500. We have to eliminate these null values while performing aggregate function. Select max wage will give the output as 5,000. Select AVG wage from employee. The sum wage is 12,600. So this 12,600 divided by 3 will give the output as 4,200. Select count wage from employee. There are 3 values present in this wage column, so the output will be 3. Select count name from EMB. There are 6 names in this name column, so the output will be 6. Select count distinct DPT from EMB. We have to first find out the distinct departments from the table. The departments are 10, 30 and 20, and after that we have to take the count. So there are 3 departments in the table, so the output will be 3. Select count star from EMB. Count star returns the number of rows. The output will be 6. Next we are going to discuss the group by clause. The group by clause can be used in a select statement to group similar data items into a set of logical groups. If there are similar values in a specific column, and we can group all that values into a group, and we can perform aggregate functions like count, max, min, avg or sum. A select command with group by clause has a column name and one or more aggregate functions in it, which are applied on that column, and grouping also done in this column only. We are grouping using a specific column and performing some aggregate functions on other columns. The syntax is select followed by the column name in which we are grouping and the aggregate functions from table name, and if we want to specify any condition, we can give an optional where condition followed by the group by clause. Here we have to specify the column name in which we are grouping, and if we want to specify any condition after grouping, we have to use this having clause, and order by clause is used to sort the data. You have to note that the order by clause should be given only in the last part of the query, because the data is to be sorted only after filtering the data. Having clause in SQL is used to specify conditions on the rows with group by clause. Having clause can be used only with group by clause. The difference between where and having. Where is used to filter rows and is applied on single rows. We are checking on individual rows and filtering the data. Having is used to exclude the rows after grouping. Next difference is where can be used without group by clause, but having clause can be used only with group by clause. Next difference is where clause cannot contain aggregate function. If we want to perform some filtration using this aggregate function, we cannot use where clause. For that we have to use having clause. Having clause can contain aggregate function. Next difference is where can be used with any of the DML commands like select, update or delete, but having clause can be used with select statement with group by clause. To explain this group by clause, I am using the shoes table, the orders and customers table. Here when we look in the shoes table, there is a column called name which contains names of some shoes. We can see duplicate values in this name. School canvas, school leather, galaxy and tracker. These all are similar values which are repeating. And we can group the values based on this name and perform some aggregate function. For example, if we want to view the maximum cost of school canvas, it is 140, and the maximum cost of school leather is 320, and here it is 720 and 843. If we want to view the maximum cost of each shoes, we can use the group by clause and the aggregate function max cost. Like that we can view the sum of quantities of each type. All these 3 values will be added up and other logical groups will be added. And we can also group the column using the type also, because it contains similar values, school, office and sports. And size, since there are similar values in this column, we can group using size also. Margin also we can group it because it contains 2, 3 and 3.50. Like this, if there are similar values in a column, we can group the values based on that column. When we look in this orders table, there is a column called cust code and it is having similar values. C01 is repeating 4 times, then C02 is also repeating. So we can group on the basis of cust code in this order table. Shoe code is also having similar values. We can group it by shoe code, or order quantity also we can group. If there are similar values in a column, we can group the values based on that particular column and perform some aggregate functions. For example, if we want to view total order quantity of each customers, we can group by using the cust code and perform the sum function on the order quantity. Like this, in the customer table, there is a field called category and which is having duplicate values, and we can group the customer table on the basis of category also. Let us go with some examples. We are using the shoes, customers and orders table. Question: to display the total quantity of shoes of each type. So we have to find the total quantity. We can use the aggregate function sum quantity, and it should be grouped on the basis of type. So the query will be select type comma sum quantity from shoes, and we have to use the group by clause, group by type. The output will be each type with its sum quantity will be displayed. Office, school and sports sum quantity will be displayed. Next question is to display the maximum, minimum and average margin of each type of shoes. Here also we have to group by using the type, and max, min and avg function is to be used. The query will be select type, comma, min margin, max margin, avg margin from shoes, group by type. The output will be the type will be displayed followed by the min, max and average margin. Next question is to display the total quantity of shoes in each size. Here the total quantity, that is sum quantity of each size, is to be displayed. So here we have to group by using size, and the function is sum quantity. The query will be select size comma sum quantity from shoes, group by size. Since we are grouping by size, we can give the column size here in the select list. So the output will be clear for you. The sum quantity of which size is being displayed. 6, the sum quantity is 3680, 7, 8, 9 and each sum quantity is displayed. Next question is to display the total order quantity of each customers. Here we have to use the cust code to group, and we have to display the total order quantity, that is sum quantity. Select cust code, comma sum order quantity from orders, group by cust code. The output will be the cust code will be displayed and the sum order quantity is displayed. Next question is to display the total number of customers in each category. Here we are using the customer table and grouping based on the category. Select category comma count star from customers, group by category. The count star is used to count the number of customers in each category. The output will be in A category there are 2, B 2 and C 1 customer is there. Next question, to display the maximum and minimum cost of each size of shoes. Here we have to group by using the size column and display maximum and minimum value. The query is select size comma max cost comma min cost from shoes, group by size. The output is the max cost and min cost of each size is displayed. Next question, to display the type and corresponding total quantity of each type. Here we have to group by using the type field and display the type and corresponding total quantity. After that we have to apply a condition also. We have to display the items with total quantity more than 1500. So we have to use the having clause also, because here the total quantity can be find out by using the sum function. So it is a condition based on aggregate function. So we have to use the having clause. The query will be select type comma sum quantity from shoes, and we have to use the group by clause, group by type, and after that the having clause having sum quantity greater than 1500. The output will be type of shoes and their corresponding sum quantity is displayed. Next question is to display the sum quantity of each type for which average margin is more than 2. Here we have to use the sum function and group by using type, and we have to apply a condition which is an aggregate function. So we have to use the having clause. The query is select type comma sum quantity from shoes, group by type, having avg margin greater than 2. The output will be type will be displayed and their sum quantity whose average margin is greater than 2 is displayed. Next question is to display the total quantity of shoes. Here we have to use the sum function of sizes other than 6. Here this condition is to be applied on individual rows. So we have to use the where clause of various types. Here we have to group by using type of each type is to be displayed. So group by clause is to be used, and we have to apply a having clause because we have to display the groups for which the total quantity is more than 1500. Here we have to apply a condition with aggregate function. So we have to use the having clause. So the query will be select type comma some quantity from shoes where size not equal to 6. First we have to filter the data, and after filtering we have to group the data, group by type, and after grouping we have to apply the aggregate function condition by using the having clause having some quantity greater than 1500. The output will be school 3780. Next question is to display the maximum and average margin of each type of shoes. We have to group by using type, and the minimum and average margin is to be displayed. So the first part will be select type comma max margin comma AVG margin from shoes. In this report, shoes of sizes 6 and 7 only should be included. So we have to apply a where clause where size in 6 comma 7. Then we can use the group by clause group by type. And here we have to use the having clause because the report is required only for those group for which minimum margin is more than 2. So we have to use the having clause having min margin greater than 2. The output will be office and sports is displayed, and the maximum and average margin is also displayed. Hope you have understood this group by and having clause. Please revise it many times so that you can understand it very well. Thank you.